Hello and welcome to this training, which is about how I doubled my income in 12 months. So before we get into the training, I just want to let you know a little bit more about me. My name is Carol Hampshire. I live in Knysna, South Africa, which is the very bottom of Africa. I started my own business in 1996, so yes, that's 20 years ago, and I've been self-employed all that time. I design websites, brands, logos. I'm also a business mentor, and I work with women entrepreneurs who are ready to launch a new brand and a website that sells. I'm also a open water, cold water swimmer. That's a bit of a mouthful there. And I love competing in these long distance swimming events. To give you an idea of the kind of clients that I'm dealing with right now and the kind of work I'm doing, I'm just going to briefly show you some of my work. And that's some of my designs, logo designs and web design. So let's go straight into the training. And what I find is that before we have a breakthrough in finances, like doubling your income, there's always seems to be a breakdown. So something happens in your life that kind of forces you to reevaluate where you are. I've experienced this several times in my life, and when it happens, there's kind of a breakdown and things aren't going the way I like, and I know that something great is around the corner. So about 12 months ago, I was working pretty hard. I suffered a kind of a burnout because I was just taking on so much work, and I was I was doing a lot of the wrong kinds of work. So what I had to decide was that where do I go from here? I love what I do, but at the same time, my health was suffering, my mood was suffering, everything else was suffering, and I really was struggling with where to go from here. So perhaps you're in that position right now. Perhaps you are in a place where you are ready to double your income. You don't know how to do that, and you're looking for some solutions. So let's go straight to that. So the first thing I did, I got clear on my goals. I know it seems a very obvious thing, but I find people just want to go into earning double their salary, but you've got to really get clear on what it is that you want. So first thing was I got clear with where I was financially, and like I said, I was working so hard. I didn't think I was getting the right kind of money that I wanted to for the amount of time and effort I was putting into it, and it was costing me and my health quite a lot. So what I did was that I created a money goal. So that was something that I had in my mind that I wanted to earn each month. And that's really important. So you want to create a goal that is, out of your comfort zone, something that's attainable, but just out of your reach. So that's what I did. After I created the money goal, I created a strategy on how to get this goal. So in my business, it would be something like I needed to have 5 website clients, 3 logo clients, 4 mentor clients. So I've got to kind of create a strategy on how I am going to achieve my income. So in your business, it could be the same thing. You could decide how many products you need to sell to get that income, how much new clients you need to bring in for that. And the other thing is that I wanted to get very clear on what that money was going to bring into my life. This is really key here. So I wanted to make sure that I wanted to earn that I wanted to double my income for one reason really, and that was because I wanted freedom in my life. So I wanted a lifestyle that included the freedom that I desperately desired. So that means for me, the ability to get on a plane if I want and travel overseas, have all kinds of adventures, be able to send my son to private school, all of those kinds of things. I wanted that freedom that money gives me. So that is why that was the core feeling that I wanted to convey in my life. I wanted that freedom. I also got very clear on how I wanted to feel at the end of the day. So when I first started this journey of wanting to double my income, I was feeling extremely exhausted and very drained. And I didn't want that. I really wanted my work to rejuvenate me and make me feel really alive. And I made sure that my goals are inspiring, because what's the point of doing any kind of goal setting if it's not inspiring to you? So don't just do it because everyone else is doing it. Get clear on a goal that really, really works for you and something that you are inspired to achieve. Next big thing, these are two big things right next to each other, and you've probably heard this many times, is it's a mindset change. So before you get into the kind of nitty-gritty of earning double what you are earning at the moment, it's a mindset shift. So I shifted my mindset from time equals money to money equals freedom. So let's just go over that slightly again. So time equals money. So my belief system was that my time equals money. So the harder I worked, the more money I would get. Now that's going to last me, that's going to work for so long, and I reached that point. I honestly couldn't work any harder. So what could I do to shift my mindset to create a new belief system where money equals freedom? So what does that mean to me? It means that I'm able to earn money, right, without it taking up too much of my time. So that was a big mind shift. It's a huge mind shift. But I think once I got into that, things started moving for me quite rapidly. I also got very clear on my zone of genius. Now, you might have heard that phrase being thrown around before. It's from a book called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. And basically that means that what the book is about is to find something in your zone of genius that you are really good at. So for example, how can I incorporate something that I'm really good at into my life at the moment, into my working life? So that for me was to create, to start mentoring, as well as giving my clients logos and brands and websites. So I wanted to give them something more than just my design. I wanted to give them my passion for business, my 20 years experience of being an entrepreneur. And that is what I wanted to give them. That is my zone of genius, is to mentor people in business as well. Another thing I did, I really took myself seriously. I stopped calling myself a freelancer, a freelance designer. I was a business owner. I believed in myself. And I started thinking really big. So I was, for example, looking at properties that are, in the couple of million range to buy. And not that I'm going to buy it now, but I just wanted to get into that zone of that wealth zone. I started thinking really big. I started thinking about where could I go for retreats? Where could I go for events that are overseas? So I really wanted to start thinking big. And then I also started thinking and acting like someone who was already earning double my salary. So what would that person be doing every day? What are their habits? Would they be waking up every morning in kind of tracksuits and not looking after themselves? Or is this person going to the gym? Are they getting out? Are they meeting people? How are they acting in the world? So I wanted to kind of up my game quite radically and started acting and thinking like someone who already was earning double my salary. I started to really embody that person. Next thing I did was a lot of research. So the first thing to do in creating, doubling your wealth is to get very clear on who your ideal client is. So in order to do that, I wanted to speak to as many people as possible. And because I'm here in South Africa, I did a lot of that over Skype. So I would go onto groups on Facebook and I would offer people certain free things. So for example, I would offer them free mentoring. I would offer them a free review of their website or branding. And people loved this. They contacted me and I would set up a lot of Skype meetings. And I really was speaking to some people up to 7 to 10 hours in 1 week. I would schedule these kind of weeks where I would be completely and utterly immersing myself in getting to know my ideal target market. What is it they wanted? What are they needing? What are they, what are they thinking about at night? What's keeping them? What's keeping them up at night? What are their desires? What do they really want? And that helped me get very, very clear on who my ideal client is. So we're talking about the ideal client, and I started to get very, very specific on who this person is. So for yourself, think about things like, are they male or female? How old are they? And get even more specific. So get really deep, create a story around these people. So if I was to ask you, tell me about your best friend or tell me about someone you know, they have a story about them. So perhaps your ideal client has a specific, where does she come from? What is she married? Does she have children? Where did she meet her husband? Is she divorced? What are her interests? Where does she go and shop? So really get specific. You get a very clear idea on who your target market is, but getting very clear on what is she doing every day. And then another thing I heard a while ago, I can't remember where I heard it from, but it was, would I spend the weekend with my clients? Okay, it's not what you're thinking, totally not what you're thinking. It means, would I like them enough to actually go away with them for a weekend and spend time with them? And at that time, when I started on this journey, the answer was no, definitely. 90% of my clients, I would not want to spend time with them. But now I'm in a position where every single one of my clients, it would be an absolute pleasure with me to spend time with them because they are so amazing. They're really amazing, amazing women. And because I kind of got into the flow of who this person is and who my ideal client was, I started attracting them pretty quickly. It's just kind of the energy just flows, and I got the connection was really there between myself and my ideal clients. The next thing I did that was a total game changer was that I hired a coach. So it's all very well having a goal setting, having a strategy, knowing your ideal clients, but the thing is you've actually got to do some action now. And it's not that easy doing that on your own. So I was prepared to invest in my future. And I interviewed several potential coaches, including coaches that were very well known overseas, all over the world, coaches that were local as well. And I ended up choosing someone that was actually lives about a couple of hours away from me, which was fantastic because she and I could get together one-on-one. We were very similar in terms of who we are and what our brands are about. She's a great person to hang out with. She's someone I really trusted. And this is the thing, you've got to really trust your gut with something like this. So hiring a coach is something that you've got to go with your head and your heart. A coach is someone that you can brainstorm with. So you might have a lot of family and friends, but the thing is they don't really know your business. A coach is someone who really understands where you are right now and where you need to be. So the coach also helped me create a good, solid strategy to reach my goals. And without that strategy, you don't know what to do. So I was held accountable for my actions, which was fantastic. So it made sure that I was actually achieving the small things I needed to do to get to my goal, to get one step closer to my goal. It was a huge investment, hiring a coach, and it is a huge investment. And I easily got my return on that investment very quickly. So I think within 6 weeks, I had already earned seriously double what I had invested in hiring a coach because of the strategies I had in place and because of this new energy and vitality that was in my business. The one thing that my coach and I worked on very quickly was creating a package, which is very important for kind of getting that doubling your income, because what I was doing in the past, I was doing a whole bits and pieces of people's design work here and there. So here I consolidated my work and I created a package. Mine was called Brand New You, and it's my signature package, which that was I created that package partly because of listening to my ideal target market. They didn't want just a logo and that's it. They didn't want just a website and that's it. They wanted a whole package. They wanted someone that they could trust, that could take them through that process. So with me, they are able to, I will help them from the very beginning get clear on their brand, create some design, really strong elements of design work that is completely and utterly authentic to them. And then what I did was I was also mentoring them as well on what they need to do. So you have someone like myself to really support them through that process without them getting overwhelmed. And for myself, my clients, the feeling of overwhelmed came up a lot. So this was something that I wanted to really diminish any kind of overwhelm for any of my clients. And the second thing is I really wanted to give them a package that they could complete within 5 to 6 weeks. So my client would get all of these items in 5 to 6 weeks, which is phenomenal. Another complaint that always came up was that this design stuff just takes too long. And the longer it takes, is the less time that they can actually earn money. So my philosophy was, let me help them get a fantastic brand, get them out there so that they can start earning money quickly. I was, to be very honest, I was completely and utterly surprised at how quickly my packages sold. So I only had 5 places that were open up in 1 month because I really want to give everyone my undivided attention. And I want to diminish any other kind of distractions. I only wanted to work with these people. And those 5 places were sold up very quickly. And I mean, just the income from those 5 places that I sold in that 1 month was probably around 5 times more than I was earning January 2016. So that's a big, big, big shift. And that was just because of the things I put in place for that. So another thing I did, I streamlined my offerings very much. So I wasn't doing a whole bunch of items for other people. I completely and utterly will only do kind of logos, web designs, and that's it. And I turn clients and projects away. So I do that a lot. Every day, people are coming to me and they're needing something from me. And because they're not my ideal target market, or I'm not able to supply them with what they're needing, I turn them away. This is something that I really struggled with because, a year ago, I would just take on anything. I kind of had this mindset of a scarcity mindset that, I would lose that money if they went somewhere else. So I would work all hours, work weekends to do these kinds of small jobs for people. But at the end of the day, it really was very, very draining. It wasn't worth the money. So it was a huge mindset to turn people away, and people with projects, turn them away. But I get a lot of joy out of actually turning clients away, but passing them on to other people. So I have a great network of people that I pass on to as well. So I feel really great about that. Another thing that was really important to me was that as a brand expert myself, I didn't have a strong brand. Can you believe that? So it's taken me some time to get clear on my brand. So here's just a screenshot of my Instagram. And branding is really important when it comes to doubling your income. I'll tell you why. Because your ideal client will really, really want to connect to who you are as a person. They will identify you and they will want to hang out with you. That's why people work with you, because they really feel a connection with you. And a brand is a great place to start doing that. I will attract the same people that reflect my brand. So I love the water, I love simplicity, I love design, and it's amazing that I have 2 clients in Jamaica, 1 client in Costa Rica, another client is visiting Belize at the moment. So all of these tropical islands and swimming places and warm oceans and hot beaches, these are all places that I love, and I show that in my branding, and I attract the right kinds of clients for that. I also got very clear on what I'm selling. So, am I really selling logos and websites? No, I'm not. I'm selling. I'm selling clients the. I'm selling them, you know, something that a whole package that gets them to their clients quickly. So I sell them the ability to earn, attract their clients and attract their income extremely quickly because I'm able to connect them with their clients. So, for example, let's talk about if you're a virtual assistant, for example. Now, a virtual assistant can say, okay, well, I sell, I can do I can set up webinars for you, I can do your newsletters, but that's not what they're selling. They're selling time. So they're giving someone time. That is the result of what they are selling. So I got clear on that. I got clear on what I'm really giving to people, and I sold that. So when someone says to me, you know, your prices are, when I'm chatting to people, I am very clear that what I'm selling them is that freedom. So I'm going to give them a great brand. They're able to get more clients and they're going to have more freedom in their lives. That's the bottom line. I'm selling them their freedom so they can spend more time with their family, more time on their health, and to have a balanced lifestyle. So I revised my whole look and feel so it attracts my ideal clients, and it really has, without a doubt. I have brand consistency around all the platforms, so Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. And I know that my brand, like yours, is a work in progress. It's never complete. It's something that you will always tweak, refine, because you as a person you are growing. Like I am always growing. I'm always changing. So my brand will change as well. I also started, like I said, calling myself a web designer and a business mentor. I really own that. So that is what I do. I got clear on that. And the more clarity I have in what I can give someone and what the results I can give other people, the more that the easier they can respond to me as well. So people connected to me, they completely will connect to me on my brand, and the wrong people will not connect to me. And that's perfect because that's what you want. You really want more of the right people coming to you, and you consciously want to not attract the wrong people. So you want to repel certain people. And here are some, talking about branding, here are some brands I've done for other clients. And you can see that each one has its own look and feel. You can, without reading anything, you can look at those mood boards and brand boards and really get a feel of the kind of people that are behind those boards. And everyone is different. Everyone has an authentic truth to them. So I want to bring that out. And that's how I do it, create a brand board for people. I got visible. This is the one thing that people that I speak to struggle with the most. Hands down, it's one of the toughest things. They are on Facebook, yet they're not doing anything. They're not commenting, they're not posting. They're just kind of becoming wallflowers and not doing anything about it. So what I did, I very consciously joined a lot of Facebook groups where I knew my ideal clients were hanging out. Some great people, great conversations, and I was posting on social media often. So I wrote the 80-20 rule. Nobody wants to go online and see someone kind of bombarding them with buy me, buy, buy, buy. So the 80-20 rule is 80% sharing authentically my life and who I am as a person, and 20% and less is actually selling my product and services. And that keeps that flow going very nicely. That's so that people are interested in my posts and they're keen to hear what I have to offer them as well. I make sure to connect with my clients and potential clients online. So I've got my feelers out for people that I really want to work with as well. And I'm making sure that every time I see them on any kind of social media and they're posting, I will make an effort to comment, post, like, as well as with my clients, because even though I've completed my projects with them, I really want to keep being involved in their lives. I want to see how they are growing. I want to be there to really support them in any other way possible. So I want to make sure that people connect to my vibe, and everyone has their own kind of vibe, and I make sure to post authentically. So I post things from my heart, and it's raw sometimes in terms of not perfect, but I enjoy it. So it's things like doing Facebook Lives, doing Instagram stories, and taking pictures, posting a lot, just getting people to, I guess, become friends with me online, so they really get a sense of who I am. And it's funny because I live in very close to a forest, and so from my desk I can literally see monkeys playing in the trees. So often I would take Instagram stories and show them the monkeys that are coming and playing around my office. And that's one of the funny things that people will say to me when I speak to them on Skype. They'll say, wow, I just love watching your monkeys. I like seeing your swimming videos. So they have a connection with me that's something slightly different, and they really enjoy that. So think about in your career, your life, what is it that you can share with people that is authentic but is unique to you as well? People forget that once you're doing the strategy, you're setting goals, you're doing all these things, and then the next thing you need to do really is to just let it go and have fun. So it's a case of trusting the process and not getting stressed out. I do create a daily practice of looking at my goal every day. I do journal every day, so these practices are there. Like we spoke about, what is someone of my income doing every day? And I would assume she is doing a daily practice of looking at her goals, creating a journal, and that's now become one of my rituals. So we're now looking at, January 2017, I had doubled my income in 12 months, even more than doubled. And now I consistently earn 5 figures a month, and that's US dollars. And I know that the more I keep on practicing these steps, the more my income is going to increase, but yet I'm not going to compromise at all on my freedom and my health. So I'm continuously striving to find ways for myself and for my clients to create a life of that freedom, earning that high income, but not compromising on their family life, not on their health, not on their relationships at all. It must only enhance that. So I'm totally committed to sharing my process with other people who are also wanting to double their income. I am not special. I haven't done anything that you cannot do yourself. That's very, very truthful. So please remember that. I have done nothing that you cannot do as well. There's no reason why you cannot double your income. Just believe that it's possible and it can be done. So I have a 90-day to free mentor package available at the moment, which is 10 sessions, 90 days, and I've only got 5 spots. So if you committed to doubling income and you're needing some extra support, please consider this package. And they also have the brand new You design package that we mentioned earlier. And that was a brand board, a logo design, 5-page web design and development, 4 hours mentoring, only 5 spots. So if you are keen in finding out more information about those packages, please contact me at hello@carolhampshire.com. I've loved having you join me on this training webinar, training video on how I doubled my income. So please download the playbook. I want you now to start the process in doubling your income. I really want to see you thrive. I know that it's possible, and I know that the freedom that would bring for you to double your income. So download the playbook, have some fun doing that, and thank you very much for joining me for this training.